Good morning, wonderful, glorious world, and welcome back to my channel. Today's offering will be part 2 of my trip to Pakistan. Still in Skardu, but we see some more mesmerizing places and a quick recap of what we did on day 1. The upper Kachura lake, where all of us partook in speedboating, was a great start to this wonderful trip. I bonded with the young gentleman next to me like a son and a father, a remarkable young soul. But getting back to where we were, this was fun. And then the serenity of Shangrila, the lake below, was to follow. Sadly, not all ventured in that heavenly place, but I was able to go and capture footage to be shared with the whole group. It was an active day, a very active day. Not only the day before, where we traveled such long distance, 19 hours on the minibus, but also this day was active through adventure. And then Shangrila. A little over 20 passengers was my family for 8 days. This is them, without realizing I'm recording them. But the journey isn't just the destination. It's the journey itself. It's the route that we took. Every morning I would get up and I would walk whilst the rest of the passengers were resting. I'm older than everyone on that bus, and I don't really need that much sleep. And so once I was up, I really needed to get out and explore. So on foot I did plenty, but let me just show you the route, the roads, the Karakoram highway. It's a beautiful area of Pakistan, not just on the ground level, but even when one sees from a bird's eye view. But with this beauty comes a great deal of danger. It's sad for me to share how many deaths that occur on this road. But when you see this road from this vantage point, you'll understand why it's so dangerous. Landslides, narrow roads, hectic traffic, bends that really you can't see what's coming round the corner. All this add up to danger, severe, catastrophic danger. But when you look at the area, you don't think of the danger. Well, I certainly didn't. You think of the beauty, the vast beauty that is the Karakoram range. I think also danger allows one to really get to know not just their fellow passengers, but also themselves. Because when you are faced with adversity, you get to know your true self, a true self that often is hidden until such difficult times present themselves. The second day's journey in Skardu actually made us leave Skardu and travel around 120 kilometers to a waterfall. Surprisingly, this waterfall is man-made. I didn't know that when I saw it, only found out post-recording, but it's still mesmerizing, it's still beautiful, it's still an attractive waterfall to visit. The name of this waterfall? Manthoka Waterfall. So I've visited Skardu before and on motorbike, but I never came to this spot, which is a waterfall with a, let's say, beautiful garden. Places to perch yourself, as you can see over there. The word tranquility comes to mind, even though you can hear the roar of the waterfall, the cascade. When the water lands, it's brazen, it's tough, it's loud. But there's still a tranquility to this place. There's something about a waterfall that mesmerizes the soul. You want to carry on looking at it and get lost in that sensation, that feeling. I have a fascination with bridges, especially wooden rope bridges. This bridge moved left and right, up and down, and actually forced a lot of the fellow travelers to be extremely weary before crossing this bridge. Fear overcame a lot of them, but eventually that fear passed, because when you're in such a beautiful location, you have to explore, and everyone did. But this was the start of the day. Next was Shigar Fort, but before that, Safaranga Desert. Its vastness and tranquility, plus the backdrop of those ice-capped mountains, is totally captivating. For me, even though the journeys were extremely long, looking out the window and seeing this ever-changing landscape was absolutely fantastic, and something I've done by motorcycle, I've done by car, and now minibus, and still I want to do it again. It's just glorious. Back at Shigar Fort, I like the gardens, and as I'm the only one here, I'll walk around and show you the gardens, and then you can see the external part of the fort. It's pretty, it's very pretty. So they have this sort of central island around a man-made lake. I guess this is where the elite back in the day would sit and enjoy the garden. I'll show you the fort. I've been here before. I wasn't sure whether I had until I came up to the entrance. As I approached the entrance, I realized I have been here before. But it's a nice fort. There's curators that try to tell you the history of the fort, and which is very good. But unfortunately, they tend to tell you more than you can digest. And so you end up sort of switching off, and they carry on talking, and you're looking at the building rather than listening to their words. It's all good. I have a selfie drone, and I've been a naughty boy. It does say no drone usage, but a selfie drone doesn't fly too high, and one of the reasons they don't allow drones is to protect people's privacy. Well, as I was the only one there, I thought, can I use it? Should I use it? Did I use it? Well, you can tell I certainly did. One of the things I did realize about this fort was that it's very Tudorified. It looks like Tudor buildings in England, where they used to marry rock, stone, brick and wood to create a structure not so dissimilar to this. Although this is in very good order, it's intact and therefore looks a lot more beautiful. I think back in the day, Tudor buildings would have looked very similar. Most forts that I've visited sit very close to a river. So does this. So does Shigar Fort. And I guess because 70% of life is made up of water. We as humans, 70% are water. I guess water is a lifeline. And if you're going to make a fort, a palace, you need the lifeline of water very close by. The wall of the fort, and as you can see, large rocks married well with wood. There are many guest rooms here. Unfortunately, as a budget traveller, I couldn't afford any of them. Well, I could, but I choose not to. The whole idea is to try to live amongst those that are maybe financially a little less fortunate and just enjoy their company. They tend to give you more of a hearty welcome than those that are seeking high prices for rooms. Anyway, that little place I showed you, but now you can see it from afar. Because this is wilderness, whenever you see something that's been created by man to complement wilderness, to complement those rocks, those mountains. It just looks slightly out of place but beautiful. I mean, the flowers, I'm not sure what flowers they are. From here they look like orchids. I could be wrong, but they do look like orchids, and orchids all around with this little parcel of water having this little gazebo type construction. It just looks beautiful. Yesterday I was in Shangrila, which isn't very far from here. Again, the beautification they brought to that small area is phenomenal. You know, you ride around, or in this case I'm driving rather than riding. Well, I'm a passenger, and you get absolutely shocked when you see certain things that are so beautiful, so obviously created by man, but in such a way that they complement the unforgiving nature that is this area. This would be the cold desert of Skardu, and I can tell you it is cold, it's windy. I think the snow-capped mountains that surround this desert create a cool wind. Above we have aircrafts. On my last visit we didn't have these paragliders, these motorized paragliders, but I think it's a great addition. I wanted to go on one of them. Unfortunately, the wind was getting too strong and we had arrived a little late. But another time, another place, another opportunity. After that eventful day, it was back to Skardu city, where my fellow passengers went shopping whilst I contemplated the day. So now it's time for me to sit down and rest whilst you can watch the world from a different perspective. Take care, everyone. Thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. See you next time for part 3.